What is up, everybody? This is JP representing JPFitnessPro.com. I'm currently training at a self-made training facility in San Marcos, California. If you're looking for one-on-one training, small group training, nutrition plans, or online training, please head on over to my website, JPFitnessPro.com. That's the easiest way to contact me, as I have my email and my phone number listed on the website. Today's video is going to be about a bicep-tricep. And what that is it's just a set, an exercise, back to back to back. So 3 different exercises targeted on the biceps. The main concept behind this video is about exercise variation. It is very good to know what specific exercises do, such as grip width, hand placement, and what those things kind of change in regards to what musculature is recruited for that movement. But a lot of times people get hung up on, oh, what is the difference between a decline bench and an incline bench? Well, that's a simple example. There are more complex ones. Like, for example, you may get kind of caught up on, oh, what is a slightly wider grip on a lat pull down do versus a slightly more narrow grip? And again, those are all good questions, but the main point you need to take away from those questions is that those are exercise variations. And exercise variation is good for hypertrophy. When you do a specific exercise and you never change grip width, you never change the angle of your body in relation to the movement, you never change hand position, certain things like that, you're going to get a very specific looking muscle with good strengths and then also like harsh weaknesses as well. Someone who maybe only does like a flat bench, for example, may have a slightly better mid and lower chest, but if they never do anything like incline presses or any movement in that sort of movement pattern, then they might have a really weak upper chest if they're not putting exercise variation into their workouts. So today's videos, again, the concept is exercise variation. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to title the video, but this might end up turning into a series, just things that you can implement. So like I said earlier, this is going to be a bicep-tricep. It's going to consist of 3 different exercises for the biceps. The first one's going to be a preacher curl / spider curl. I've heard it called 2 different ways. The second one's going to be a standard bicep curl. And the third one is going to be an incline bench curl. Now, the first curl is a preacher curl. And the main reason why we're starting off this is because this gets the bicep in a fully shortened position. A lot of people don't realize that the bicep aids in shoulder flexion. So if it aids in shoulder flexion and then it's the prime mover for elbow flexion, if you really want a fully contracted bicep, you have to actually have the arm in a flex position, the shoulder flex. So it have to be basically perpendicular to your torso, like from here. And if you're not doing that, you're not getting it in a fully shortened position. So doing a preacher curl actually solves that problem. So you can either do it both arms at a time if you have that piece of equipment in your gym. Currently, I don't, so I'm just going to use a bench and then do one arm at a time. So what you do is you just grab the dumbbell or a barbell, whichever one you want to use, and you put your arm on the bench and you just curl like that. So what you do is you do both arms, and depending on your kind of workout level, you do or do not have to take a rest period. If you're more of an advanced athlete, you can go from one exercise to the next and take a rest after all 3, or you can take a short rest period in between if you're someone who's maybe not that advanced or you're just starting out. So again, if you're doing a barbell, you're doing both arms at the same time, obviously. If you're doing dumbbells, do one arm and then do the next arm. The benefit of using a barbell over dumbbells for this specific exercise is that when you do one arm at a time, the next set you start, that arm's going to be a little bit more fatigued, that last arm you did, because the first arm's getting a little bit more rest. So if you have a way to use a barbell, I'd actually recommend that for the spider or preacher curl. Now, the next exercise is a standard curl. The reason why I like it is it puts you in a good position to just lift a lot of weight. That's not putting you in an awkward position, so you might be actually able to overload this one a little bit better. If you can't, because you're fatigued from the first exercise, that's fine. Again, we're just kind of manipulating strength curves here. So again, the next exercise is just a standard curl. So you can use dumbbells or barbells. You just good upright position, squeeze your glutes, squeeze your core, and All right, the last exercise in this bicep-tricep is going to be an incline bench curl. Opposite of the first exercise, this exercise gets the biceps in a fully lengthened position. So it's going to be, again, because the bicep aids in shoulder flexion, the opposite of shoulder flexion is extension, is getting the arm behind the body. So if you want to fully lengthen the bicep, you have to actually get the arm behind the body. So what I recommend is using an incline bench like this. If you have another method to do this exercise and you don't have a bench, that's fine. I know some people do drag curls. It's kind of like the same thing. But again, if you have a bench, I'd actually recommend you use the bench instead. So what you do is you're just going to sit back on the bench, let your arms go behind your body, and you're going to do the set amount of number of curls for that set. So you sit down, let your arms come all the way behind your body. Make sure you don't hurt yourself by going too far back, and you just curl like normal. Again, the rep ranges and the sets are going to vary depending on you, so I can't get too specific about that. Just again, some basic key concepts for general sets that will apply to this is if you're going to go heavier with reps, it's going to be more of a strength-based exercise. I honestly don't use triceps like this so much for strength. If I was going to go strength for biceps, I would just do a standard barbell curl. Maybe do some like negatives like a couple videos ago when I showed you guys. But I wouldn't use this for strength. I typically use techniques like this for hypertrophy. So yeah, again, the whole concept is exercise variation. When you hit different angles on a muscle, it's going to look like a fully developed muscle, and you're not going to have any weak points. If you just stick to one exercise, there's going to be a lot of gaps and holes in your physique. So if you're someone who's trying to maximize hypertrophy, if you're a bodybuilder or you're training for a competition, I recommend implementing techniques like this all the time in your workout program. If you guys have any questions or comments, please post them down below, but I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.